to Anime Apocalypse, where a major weeb tries to turn his two friends into weebs like himself. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and things they say will be opinions and should not be perceived as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Apocalypse, the show where I try to turn my two friends into weebs like myself.
We here at Anime Apocalypse would like to remind you all that anime doesn't actually stand for Japanimation. It's an acronym for Anxious Neanderthals Imitating Man Eagerly.
I'm Lane.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Nathaniel.
Guys, it's been a little while since we've been back on in this call, getting ready to watch some anime. We took a short little break. We were all a little busy, but guys, you excited to be back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you excited to watch some anime?
Even though life has been busy for us, but we are here now. So
indeed,
ready to watch anime. Hopefully it's better than those last two. I don't want to do another rom-com, Lane. Please, don't do it to me.
Then I might have the perfect treat for you this week, Nate. Oh, yes. But we're going to be getting back on our weekly schedule. We're going to get back to what our normal, I would say our normal, because last week, I kind of gave you guys a little bit of a golden platter, and I kind of tricked you guys. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go back to our normal format where I am prepared to give you guys an anime this week, and then that's exactly what we're gonna be watching instead of tricking you guys and kind of deceiving you and trying to get you to pick whatever animes I come up with. But this week, you guys are getting forced to watch the anime I'm making you. But
as long as it's not rom-com.
I will tell you this week, Nate, we are not doing a rom-com. There was some news recently, I think just a couple weeks ago, about a season 2 of this really popular anime.
Spy Family.
And that's what. It is not Spy Family. Although I am excited for part 2 coming out in October. That'll be good. But no, the anime we are going to be covering with this week, guys, is none other than Vinland Saga. Now, I don't know if either of you have heard of Vinland Saga or what, but Vinland Saga is kind of most known for being the Viking anime of the anime world. Have either of you heard of Vinland Saga? Got it recommended from somebody or anything?
I've only ever seen it in your tier lists, but other than that, I don't think it's really something I've ever heard of.
I remember seeing the initial trailer for it because I had a friend that he's very into Vikings, and he also really likes anime. So the second the trailer came out, he showed it to me. It definitely looks interesting. I've heard good things about it from that friend, from stuff online. I remember when it first came out, there were a lot of people saying that it was good. So I'm looking forward to it. Thankfully, it's not rom-com. At least I don't think it is. If they tried to make Vikings into a rom-com, that would be interesting.
Well, different. I will tell you that it does not go a romance style. There's a lot of gore and war.
Nice.
But yeah, we're gonna be going over the hit 2019 anime Vinland Saga, which I'm not for sure when they announced. I think it's early 2023 or late 2022 when season 2 is coming out. So we're only gonna watch the first 5 episodes. But I think it's 24 episodes. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a revisit before season 2 comes out or something. But we will have to see. But for the so you guys don't know a whole lot about it. Kind of just Viking anime.
All I know is that it's Vikings and like the main character is blonde.
All right.
I don't even know that. I just know it's Vikings.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I heard that people weren't the biggest fan of like the use of CG in it too.
Yeah, the CG isn't great, but the main character of Vinland Saga is none other than our main character Thorfinn. But young Thorfinn grew up listening to the stories of old sailors that had traveled the ocean and reached the place of legend, Vinland. It's said to be warm and fertile, a place where there would be no need for fighting, not at all like the frozen village in Iceland where he was born. So that's kind of a quick little description. So a big purpose in this anime, as you guys heard in that little short synopsis, is Vinland, which hints Vinland Saga. Vinland is like the place that all these Vikings are striving to try to make it to, but nobody has made it there, because they're all surrounded by war, death, and everything else. But Thorfinn here, he kind of lives a little bit of a different life after some tragic events happen. He ends up living his entire life for revenge, which you guys will learn about. But another one of our main characters, which you guys will learn to probably love and hate, is our other pretty main character is Askeladd. He's gonna be like the commander of one of like one of the Viking ships. So you're gonna kind of get to know him pretty well. You'll also kind of get to know Thorfinn's father, which you guys got any guess on what's his father's name?
Odin.
No.
Thor.
Yeah, Thor's. So his dad
is it actually Thor though?
It is not, but it's his name is Thor. His name is Thor's, and then you'll have another supporting character, which is like Thor's one of Thor's great buddies, Thorkel. But that's kind of what the anime is about. There is a lot of action in it. The story is pretty interesting enough to kind of keep you wanting to keep watching more. I watched this pretty recently. I think it was a couple months ago. It was still when we were in school. But I remember that I watched like all 24 episodes in a couple days because I think that it started out pretty slow, but once you hit like episode 3 or 4, like it picked up super quick and like the story moved on at a pretty good pace. So I remember I really liked that about that, and I have it pretty high up in my tier list. I have it sitting towards the top of my A tier. Do you guys have any thoughts on like what it's gonna be ranked on Mal?
It's new. I remember people saying it's good, so I'm guessing it's going to be in the high. I'd say in the high hundreds or 200s. So
I don't know.
I'd say somewhere in the 200s.
Because what was I'm trying to remember what like Bunny Girl Senpai was. I think Bunny Girl Senpai was like
it was like
towards it was like 280 or something.
Yep.
So I don't know if this is definitely probably ranked higher than that, but with it being new, I don't know if that's like if it's oversaturated with older animes that have been there for a while. So I guess I would say like maybe 170.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would guess higher than some just because it is new.
Mm-hmm.
It is currently sitting ranked at number 43 on.
Oh,
geez. Oh, wow. Really high.
With 1.1 million votes, it is sitting at an 8.73.
Jesus.
So it is definitely beloved by a lot of people. For good reason. It's a great story. It's a great. I heard the manga is very, very good. I haven't started collecting or reading any of the manga. But other than that, Vinland Saga is a really fun, great anime. Thorfinn is a really fun character. He is a little annoying towards the beginning. You guys will learn to find out and everything. But Thorfinn, he's not your normal bland bitch protagonist. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Because I know a lot of unfortunate tropes are like bland bitch protagonist, which just makes it isn't the best. It's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this show, the character growth is really good, especially with Thorfinn, and then some of the supporting characters. the character growth, the character relationships, those are all very good. Now I can't tell you about the anime opening or ending. It wasn't good enough for me to remember, so I don't remember it being bad, but I don't remember it being great enough where I save it on my Spotify playlist. So
it's no Attack on Titan season 4 part 1 opening.
Sasage.
No, that's season 2.
Sasage
No,
is good.
That is the best one. That's the best
Yeah,
one.
I like
But
Sasage.
my war was also really good.
My war was good. Yeah. But yeah. So this anime just recently got announced with the season 2. I thought it would be a pretty good time to kind of jump into watching season 1 since, if I'm not mistaken, neither of you have seen it, unlike last week where Aaron saw Rascal. But
yeah, fortunately.
you guys have any questions before we kind of jump right on in watching some Vinland Saga?
Oh, I've got a real good question.
Real good question. What's the question?
What's the meaning of life?
What's the meaning of life? I'm trying to figure that out myself.
42.
There we go. That's the answer I was looking for.
Did you just say 42 for the answer?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. That's actually technically
that's the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Any serious questions about the anime we're going to be watching this week, guys?
Is there any fan service that we need to be warned about?
Fan servicey, like, are you talking about
like Bunny Girl said,
is there any
like big anime titties? Not that I remember. I do remember there being a couple female characters. The show, I'm 99% sure did not like over sexualize the women characters in this show.
Is there any weird sibling shit?
Oh, yeah.
There is not any weird sibling shit.
Thank God.
There is not. There is like a weird like prince guy. That guy's weird. But other than that, no, there's no weird sibling shit. And I do not remember there being any over sexualized female characters. So
nice.
all things
I don't
things we're
have
looking
to complain
for.
about it this week.
Well, hopefully. I like I said, I don't remember there being any, but there might be.
It is anime after all.
I rushed through this anime super fast. So
Gotcha.
yeah. If we got no other questions, then let's jump on into watching the 2019 hit anime Vinland Saga.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. From here on out, there will be massive spoilers, adult topics, hot takes, and far too many fan service complaints. Remember to buckle up and enjoy the ride.
And we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the 2019 hit anime Vinland Saga. Guys, I know we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button, but you guys were saying that you guys were kind of enjoying it. Let me hear your guys' thoughts. Did I pick out a good anime this week? Let me know.
The first one you actually picked well.
Oh,
For real.
okay. You gave a thumbs up and a half thumbs up for the first and second one. So
No, second one is thumbs up one. Yeah. I thought you were trying to say the first one was thumbs up. I was like, "There's no fucking way."
No.
That Daniel gave the first one a thumbs up.
he gave it a half thumbs up. He gave it a
Yeah,
half thumbs up.
there's no.
I
Fucking
gave you
way.
a thumb in the middle.
Yeah.
And then last week's Bunny Girl Senpai, I gave that one a thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
This one, I won't say what my rating is yet. We'll wait until the end.
Yep. But
yeah.
I'll-
Yeah.
Aaron, you go first.
I will have to say I really enjoyed this anime. I know we're only supposed to watch 5 episodes, but I started grinding it and almost watched the entire show. I say I grinded it. I literally watched the first 5 episodes. I was gonna keep watching. I think I watched 6. I don't remember. I'd have to look at my Amazon, see where I'm at. But I really enjoyed this. It definitely was a change of pace from what. That was a voice crack. It was a change of pace.
Everyone.
Yeah, it was a change of pace from what Lane had provided us previously, which is good. No more sexual innuendos or very explicit imagery of thighs. besides I guess one episode, which has an interesting part. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. What did you end up thinking overall, Nathaniel?
I really liked it. I think by far it's the best one that we've watched so far. Lane finally has a little bit of taste this week.
Oh, I have taste every week. It's just you can't acknowledge it.
I just don't like the rom-coms. But I did really like it. It was a nice change of pace from the last two that we had. A lot more action, a lot more interesting characters, I personally think. I've always liked Vikings and like TV shows about Vikings and whatnot. So I that helped me with the like of this one. It was also done by Wit Studios, which I have yet to watch a Wit Studios anime that I did not like because they were the ones that did the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. I'm pretty sure they were involved with Spy Family, which just recently had its mid-season break. And I really enjoyed that anime as well.
They did do Spy Family. They also have done. Looks like they've done Ranking Kings is another big one they've done.
That's one I need to watch.
And Seraph of the End, I think.
I have not heard of that one.
Yeah, I've not heard of that
I
one.
think those are
They also did Great
ones.
Pretender, I'm pretty sure, which is on Netflix.
They did.
I've heard that one's really good. I have not watched that one yet, though. But yeah, I typically enjoyed this anime production company, so I was more like headed towards liking it anyway because of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It was definitely one I'll probably end up finishing in the end.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm definitely gonna finish this after we're done.
I'm definitely
recording.
glad I recommended it. I finished this anime in like 3 days. I binged the crap out of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I figured after the first 2 weeks, I figured I have to give you guys at least one action anime. So this
Sweet
is the one, this is the one I gave you guys. But give us kind of an episode rundown like we've done the last couple weeks.
Alrighty, so I'll start with episode 1. First off, I guess I always like to touch on the opening and closing before I go into the plot details. But I found the opening, like, it's hard to describe it because like it's a very cool opening. Like it's catchy. It like has really cool imagery in it, but it's not like one of those openings that you find yourself like thinking about like throughout the day, like a lot of the Attack on Titan openings and whatnot. But I really like the opening. The ending was, I found it interesting that it, like started out in English because usually closings are in Japanese, so that was interesting. But I don't remember all too much about what's going on in the credits, like visual wise, but I did find the song pretty good for the credits as well. And then, so plot of the first one, it's kind of an introduction to all the characters. I think it starts off with a big like war between Vikings, and it's just showing you how like badass Thor's is. He's just like jumping from boat to boat, just killing everyone. And then you go to the village where he's living now, and it's like it's kind of a farm village. Like all the Vikings there, they're not really fighting anyone. There's not really any violence going on.
Yeah,
they're all just kind of,
they're at Iceland. That's where their village
yeah,
is at.
Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And like it's just snow covered, so everyone's like cold. Everyone's just staying inside. And then you have like the story time where Leif Erikson is talking to all these kids about this mystical place called Vinland, which is like this really beautiful place, and he met the natives there, and he is just filling their heads with this story. They're all like, wow, we want to go there someday. Which what I found interesting is because I'm pretty sure it actually is supposed to be Leif Erikson.
Yeah, his actual name is Leif Erikson, like full Leif Erikson.
Who was a real life Viking. He is the first Viking from Europe to like set foot on North America. So what I'm thinking is that Vinland is supposed to be North America because also it shows the natives and it looks like the typical, you know, what you think of when you think like Native American chiefs and whatnot. So I think Vinland's supposed to be like Native or North America, which I found really interesting. And then after that, the only major plot point I remember is that they find this guy like buried under snow right next to their house. So they bring him in and warm him up. And like this guy's like, he's for sure going to die because like both of his arms, his legs, they're just completely frostbitten. Like if you accidentally touched it wrong, it's going to fall off.
Mhm.
So
And then
this guy's not.
you
He's
had
not going to have a
Thor's
good
bring
time.
him back to life.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this guy called Halfdan, I believe is how you say his name, Halfdan, something like that. He lives on the other side of Iceland, but that's where the slave came from. As he ran away from Halfdan and came to their village. And this guy, big, tall, like long black hair, very creepy looking. He comes in and he's like, "You guys have something that belongs to me." And he goes to Thor's, and Thor's is like, "I'm not giving him to you." And he's like, "Oh, well, then you're gonna die." And he's like, "I'll actually buy him from you." And Halfdan is like, "Why would you buy him from me? He's clearly gonna die. I'm just gonna take him back to my like house and then torture him to show all the other servants that if they try to run away, this is what's gonna happen to him." So basically, make an example of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thor's is like, "I will give you." I think it was 4 sheep was the first offer.
It
was 4
first.
sheep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was 2 sheep
It
actually.
was
Yeah,
2,
yeah,
it was
4, and then 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So he offered him 2 sheep, and Halfdan's like, "No." And then he's like, "Okay, I'll give you 4 sheep for this guy." And Halfdan's like, "You're fucking crazy." And then he's like, "I'll give you 8 sheep." And he's like, "Well, you're an idiot, but bet." So Halfdan goes and picks out his 8 sheep. The guy stays with Thor's, and then shortly afterwards, like I think it's like an hour later, he dies, and Ylva, who is Thor's daughter, is like, "Why? How could you be such an idiot? Like this guy was already gonna die. We just lost 8 good sheep because of you." And it's basically to show you that Thor's is like he's not the warrior he used to be. Like he's a lot more sympathetic and empathetic now. So if I remember correctly, that's where the first episode ends. Is kind of around there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I feel like Thor's is very much kind of the main character of the first episode, even though like as the show goes on, Thorfinn his son is. But I can't really remember anything amazing that Thorfinn does in the first episode besides listening to Leif Erikson's story.
No,
So-
Thorfinn doesn't do anything important until like episode. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
Yeah.
like the third episode before the main character became the main character.
Yeah.
Or not even the third episode, it was the fourth episode by that. Oh no, you didn't say the fifth episode.
I
Yeah,
don't know. He didn't really do anything the 5th episode either.
No, but the 5th episode
He
does
basically
do...
he just cried the entire time.
True.
Yeah, but
It was like, "I will kill you."
I still feel like the 5th episode though actually kind of. I mean, I'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah.
I feel like it really kind of set the tone as to what the purpose of the rest of the show ended up being in terms of his eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do agree. If episode 1 was a pretty good starter, it was really good. Like place, it was good to like kind of set the tone of like this is what this is gonna be like. This is what you're gonna be expecting from some of these characters, and this is how things will start. I think one thing that I thought played a big role was in the beginning sequence of Thor's literally killing the enemies that were the equivalent of bots at that point. That based on how
True.
easily he was just destroying them, but he killed one. It killed a Viking. I think it was a Viking. And the whole thing where the camera followed the sword fall underwater. I mean, at this point, we don't know he faked his death. But at the same time, though, like I feel like seeing that sword fall, I was like this. The second I saw, I'm like, this has to play a big role. Like, there's no way that they would just show this. Like, yep, that's a sword. I was like, this has to mean something. Which later on, I think we too kind of find out what the whole purpose of that is. I think it's symbolizing he's done with his the aggressive, I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you, kill you ways, which is I think one thing he's trying to set, and he's trying to set good values and good mental notes to his son Thorfinn, and that's why I feel like him selling the 8 sheep was actually more so meant to show, I guess, the viewer that he's not cold-blooded anymore. That and to show Thorfinn, hey, I don't like it. I guess good values of hey, I care for everyone. War is not something that needs to happen. You don't need to fight all the time. I think he's just trying to raise his son up a little bit. Of course, yeah, Ylva was very upset about that. She thought he was stupid, but I think in the end it was a good thing. But I guess episode 2 though is when things started kind of ramping up a little bit, not like to the point where like 3 and 4 did, but in 2, we find out a little bit more about Thor's that he was technically a deserter. Floki, one of his friends that he'd fought with in the war, he came by, wanted like, hey, the Englishmen are killing our men, women and children. We need to do something about this. Trying to get Thor's back in the war. In the end, I think it ends up working, which is surprising based on his. I say it worked. We'll find out later on, I guess, in episode 3 and 4, what their actual plan is going to end up being. But yeah, and then Floki definitely wants Thor's in this fight. He'll go to no lengths. I guess that's the phrase for it. He'll go as far as it needs to go to actually get Thor's back in. So much so that he would actually come back and kill his own village, or kill Thor's village here. And yeah, I think the big thing for me, at the end of the episode, that really kind of keeps going on to the same narrative that Thor's doesn't want to fight, doesn't want war to happen. We see that everyone in the village is so excited for fighting. All the kids are like ready to do this. All the parents, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this hasn't happened in years. I'm so ready." And then you just see Thor's walk up, and he looks like he's so destroyed and failed. Like he was trying to make his village to be better than it actually has been in the past, or better than what he was like in the past. And he's like, yeah, not happy, or he doesn't seem happy at all that they're going into war there. I think that's the main premise of that episode. I think besides the fact that we do also find out towards the end, I think, of this episode, that Floki is trying to assassinate Thor's, which is weird. But I think it's just to kind of set the tone, like, hey, you don't fuck with us, kind of thing. But overall, I think episode 2 is also kind of good to ramp up how aggressive things are going to get here.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I like 2 as much as 1, but I did really like it. I guess you kind of touched on a lot of it, but kind of a few parts that you didn't, I'd like to talk about. Mm-hmm. You see in a flashback, like, why Thor's decided, or like when it started, where Thor's didn't want to fight anymore, because you see, like, when his wife Helga is giving birth to their firstborn daughter Ylva, like he comes in and he's very, like, mad, very stoic, like, I don't give a fuck kind of person. He comes in like he's grabbing Ylva, who was a newborn baby, like, just with one hand, not supporting her neck. And like he sees that she's female, and he just tells Helga, it's like, next time give me a boy. And he basically just tosses Ylva back down to Helga, and he's leaving. And Helga, like, cries out to him while he's, like, walking out the room. She says, it's like, name the kid, like, name your child. And Thor says, I don't care, name it whatever you want, I don't give a fuck, basically. And then Helga is like, no, you are not leaving until you name this kid. And, like, the narrator, Leaf, tells you that's, like, that was the moment that Thor's started not wanting to be a warrior anymore. So he ends up naming her Ylva, which is the name of his mother, I believe. Who died prematurely.
Yeah.
So he named her Ylva, and I found that to be a very powerful scene. I think it's one of the best scenes in the 5 episodes we watched. Because it really shows you why Thor's cares about his family so much. And like Aaron was saying, it's like, all these kids, they're wanting to go to war. Like, the teenagers are all like, yes, finally, we're going to go kill people. We're going to be real Vikings. Like, one of them says, I swear on my dead father's sword that I will bring us all gold. And everyone in the city is like, woo, let's go, yes,
don't they also talk about, like, getting honor by, is it Odin? Is Odin the god of war or whatever?
Odin's like the god, or the king of gods.
They want to be able to, like, be praised, and
exactly.
They just want to be warriors, and, like, but like Thor,
and one of them's like
terrible.
Basically just is like, I hope I die a heroic death so I go to Valhalla. And it's like, okay, cool, you're gonna get to go to heaven. Like, calm down, kid. You're a kid. You have a lot longer to keep living. And then they all get on the ship, and he thinks he leaves Thorfinn behind. And then Thor is so strong that it's like all these kids are on one side of the boat, like, rowing, and then he has this, like, giant ass oar.
Yeah, that was a really funny scene.
Yeah, it's like the only person on one side of the boat because he's like so strong. So they take 2 boats with like I think it's 8 total people. It's 8 or 10.
I don't remember how many.
I know there were 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they're going to meet where Floki told them to go, but the plan the whole entire time is Thor's and everyone else is going to like get halfway there, and then Thor's is going to send all these people home while he goes ahead by himself because he doesn't want these kids to get hurt, because he doesn't want people to be warriors, because he knows that they're just going to go and die. So he's going to go by himself, but make everyone think that they're going to go there, and then he's going to send everyone back. And then, like, the last scene in the episode is Floki is talking to Askeladd, who's a new character, about how he wants Askeladd to go and murder Thor's, because I can't remember the exact reason. I think it's just that Floki, he just doesn't like Thor's because he like showed him up used to because Thor's was the greatest fighter instead of him, and also Thor's deserted or faked his own death to desert the Joms Vikings. So he hires Askeladd to kill him, and that's about where the episode ends, is when that happens. And or I guess one thing I will touch on before going to episode 3 is that I did kind of like how the antithesis to Thor's was named Floki, because like Thor and Loki. So I did like that. I thought that was a pretty cool little thing that they did there. But so then episode 3, basically they're getting to this halfway mark. Or I wouldn't say it's halfway. It's probably like a quarter of the way to where they're going. And they're going to go into this cove and go to the village so that they can kind of resupply on some stuff. And I think this is where Thor's was going to send everyone home, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, because he's going to send them back with Leif Erikson.
Yeah. And then, like, they're coming up on the village, and Thor's is like, there's fewer houses than the last time I came here. And then, like, he sees some rocks falling from, like, up top, and then they turn around because he's like, something's wrong. And then the Askeladd's group like dumps a bunch of debris from the houses that they tore down where this village used to be, so that they can no longer get out of the cove. And then they have like archers up top. Then Askeladd's 2 warships come into the like canal where they're at, and then like Thor's just 1v20s the one boat, just like there's like 5 people at a time just rushing at him, and he's just kicking everyone's ass because he's so powerful.
Yeah,
and
that was such a great scene. I loved.
Yeah, it really
when
was.
you after like the intro to episode 1, it's like the first time you get to see like some like action, and Thor's actually just murks all fucking that entire boat, and it's so.
They're all using swords and axes, and he just
hands it,
beats the shit out of them.
Exactly, and like also like you see like he's beating the shit out of them, yes, but he's not killing anyone because he's still like super strong. He's probably like the strongest Viking of his time, but he won't kill anyone because he doesn't believe in killing anyone anymore. So he's just like knocking them out. But he just 1v20s the whole entire ship. And then that's most of the episode is them fighting. And then the end of it is kind of the right-hand man of Askeladd. I can't remember his name. I don't know if they tell you his name.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It's Bjorn.
Bjorn, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, so Bjorn, like right at the beginning of the fight, he eats a mushroom, and all of the people that are with him are like, "You do know that's a," and he's like, "Yeah, shut up," right? So he eats this mushroom, and then after Thor's has like gone through everyone else, he starts going crazy because what the mushroom was it was a berserker mushroom. So like he's going berserk. And the episode ends right before him and Thor's fights. So I did like the inclusion of the berserker because that was a thing. Like with Vikings, is they would have these people known as berserkers who would like just pump themselves up a lot and just go absolutely crazy. So they would just like run through the battle and just kill a bunch of people. I don't know if they actually had to eat a mushroom. That's the part that I'm iffy about with what they did with the show, because I don't think they had to like eat anything to go crazy. I think it was just people that were like they knew how to
Yeah,
pump themselves up in the right way to like just be able to rip through an army.
yeah, maybe not, but yeah, it just like with the anime style and everything, the mushroom
Yeah.
just makes sense. It goes pretty
Mhm.
well. It's really
But
fun
yeah,
to watch. You do see the berserk mushroom a couple other times throughout the show too, so
I
it's
saw
definitely
him
nice.
collecting it in episode 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool little aspect of Bjorn's character at least.
Yeah, I just thought it really cool that they put a berserker in the series because berserkers are one of the most fascinating parts of like Viking warfare to me. But yeah, that's about it for episode 3. Most of the episodes like the fight, so I personally think like it's either 3 or 4 is my favorite episode that we watched, but 3 was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you actually touched a lot on that too.
But since we're about halfway done at this point in the while you guys were watching it, what were you guys thinking that you're probably gonna want to finish this, or what were your guys like mid thoughts about the whole show, the show as a whole?
Yeah, hell yeah. I definitely wanted to continue. Again, like we were saying, I probably still will. Maybe not tonight, but I still will for sure. I think episode 3, like Nathaniel was saying, is kind of cementing how strong Thor is. I mean, if you didn't think he was strong before, you definitely thought so now. He didn't kill anyone, of course. He just brutally beat the shit out of people. He broke some bones and knocked some skulls, but overall, yeah, I'll definitely continue watching
people left with fewer teeth than they entered with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this show does a really good job of like really capturing its audience within the first 3 episodes, which I know I do like the 5-episode rule, which hint why we're doing 5 episodes on this podcast. But I know a lot of people follow like the 3-episode rule. So this show does a really good job of in capturing their audience within the first 3 episodes, and I think that's a big backbone, and it definitely draws you in, that's for sure. But you guys can continue on with the analysis of episode 3, if you guys.
Yeah. So one other thing I'll say is I think the way that Thorfinn showed that he was on the boat still, or like stuck on the boat, was like kind of comical. He's like, they're like, oh, we've they all like kind of relax a little bit, and Thor's kind of tells everyone kind of where he wants them posted up out on the boat to continue moving, and all of a sudden you hear like a whisper, like a voice like, are we finally on the open water or something? And he just everyone's like, what? He gets out, like, oh my god, we can't go back now. And he comes back out, I'm like, oh my god. And of course, Thor spanks him for it because it's like, you're gonna die if you come out here.
That's where the nudity was. Okay.
Yeah, the only nudity was the grass. That's about the only place.
Because like on like Netflix, it's rated MA for like language and nudity. And I was like, where's the nudity? I forgot that scene.
Yeah,
I found that scene really funny. Where it's like Thor's is basically like, we finally hit the stream, like we're good to go now. And then you just hear a voice from the barrel, and it's like, does that mean we can't turn around, Dad? And he's like, yes, son, we can't turn around. And he's like, wait a minute. And Thor jumps out of the barrel and goes and pisses off the side of the boat.
Yeah, definitely a comical moment for sure. Before all the shit went down.
True.
Yeah, before episode 4 happened, which leading into episode 4, there was a lot. He of course kept beating the crap out of the guys, and I one thing I noted here was like you can definitely tell that Thor doesn't want to kill anyone as he is beating the crap out of people with his fists, not actually killing anyone. But another thing is he actually knocked a person off the boat, and to stop him from drowning, he threw an oar overboard so the dude would float on it. So I was like, okay, Thor is really trying his hardest to not kill anyone, to make sure that no casualties happening, and it was awesome. And then he does travel over towards like after beating the berserker. He's like, okay, I need to deal with the top dog here, and I just all I said is yeah, superhero landing, as he just like lands like gracefully, and I say gracefully like it was a giant thud, but he landed on the second boat to fight Askeladd. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but
it's Askeladd or Askeladd.
Yeah, but that fight I think was very interesting. He challenges Askeladd to a duel, and you could clearly see that Thor's is like 10 steps ahead of him, but I mean it looks like he is, but at the same time I think Askeladd had something up his sleeve, as he ended up kind of did some dirty tricks. He's like, like I'm a bad guy. I don't care about the rules, and he unfortunately, he had his archers still posted up top. He pointed directly at Thor's. They all shot arrows into him, and that was pretty much the end of Thor's. I was upset. I was like, oh my god, like how? And then as I was saying this, like this sucks. Like why'd they have to do that? But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know why they did it because Thorfinn's technically the main character, so they had to kill off like what Thorfinn's not gonna learn and is not gonna get stronger and like I guess progress through the show if you have this Goliath still helping him throughout the entire way. So now I think that death actually really helped Thorfinn kind of start thinking like I need to get better, I need to get stronger. But at the same time, Bjorn was kind of also pretty cheap in the fact that he like kind of uses Thorfinn as a shield. Like, yeah, you better do something or I kill your son kind of thing. But overall, like the episode was pretty much just the fight between Askeladd and Thor's there, and it was like again really sad to see Thor's die, but at the same time, we finally saw him with some sword play before his death hit. And it was just really cool to see how well he could wield that sword against another skilled swordsman.
So jumping off of there for episode 4, we keep talking about how powerful Thor's is, but man, like 1v20's a boat in the previous episode, and then this one, there's a berserker that he's fighting, and he just shits on this guy. Like this is supposed to be like the most powerful person for this group of Vikings, and Thor still just shits on him. Really like that fight as well. And then they try to board the other boat. Thor's comes back, challenges Askeladd to a sword fight, actually a duel, I guess this is the technical term. And also, I would like to point out that Askeladd was a name of a famous character in like Norwegian folk tales.
Yeah, that's what he's based off of. I think.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing.
They do go into his backstory and everything, and like his father and everything, and like you'll learn like kind of why he's like a really good duelist with the sword.
That's what I was guessing is because I knew of the name Askeladd, but I wasn't sure if they were just basing his name off of that or if he was actually supposed to be that character.
Yep, you'll learn more about it later.
Okay, gotcha. But that sword fight I thought was great because it's the first time Thor's actually uses a sword in these episodes, besides like the opening scene in episode 1. This is like the first time he's actually like unsheathing a sword. They fight. It's a really good fight. It seems even at the beginning because Askeladd, instead of using brute strength, is kind of being a little bit craftier, and he has like more speed than Thor's does. But then, like Thor's is just like, if you're using an anime analogy, he drops the weights.
Yep.
And then he just starts kicking Askeladd's ass, and Askeladd, like, air quotes, surrenders at one point, and he's like, how about we just join your group? And everyone, both sides are like, huh? And then Askeladd's like, haha, JK. And then Bjorn pops up again after being knocked out and puts a knife to Thorfinn's neck, and Thor's is like, you know what? Don't kill my kid. And basically he doesn't, in so many words, he's like, just take me. So Askeladd has all the archers fire on Thor's, and this man gets hit with like 30 arrows, and he still lives for like 5 more minutes, like with an arrow like hanging out of his neck.
Man
like
is built like Ryan Hart, bro.
Yeah,
man is built like Ryan
Hart. Exactly.
But yeah, it's like man just gets hit with like 30 arrows, just keeps talking. He talks to his son. He talks to Leif, telling him to take the children back to Iceland. He talks to Askeladd, and he's like, I beat you. We all know I beat you, but if this is the only way for everyone to get out of here without me killing anyone, so be it. Which
respect.
I like the fact that they're like, he won't kill anyone. He's done killing. I like that, but at the same time, it's like, come on. You could fucking kill Askeladd, kick everyone else's ass, go home.
No, because the whole premise of the anime is Thorfinn getting his revenge against Askeladd.
I know.
That's the whole point of the show. So you can't have that.
But Thor should have been the main character. Thor's is so cool. Thor's is such a cool
You
character.
always find something to complain about, huh?
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, so he dies, and then the very end of the episode is you see that Thorfinn stowed away on one of the ships that Askeladd's group commandeered as their own, and then he kept his dad's knife that you saw in episode 2, I believe.
Yeah, in the trunk, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he still has this knife, and he goes on top of the boat and is yelling at Askeladd, and he's like, "I'm going to get my revenge. I will kill you, no matter what." And everyone's just making fun of him because, like, oh, look at this little dipshit, like with his little bitty knife. He's not going to be able to kill Askeladd. Man, it's too good. So that's the end of episode 4. Episode 5, it begins with them like getting to this new village. They're pillaging it because what else do you do as Vikings? And after they're done pillaging it, Thorfinn shows up, like finds a sword. Does he duel him before he tries to kill him in his sleep, or is that after?
That's after.
Yeah, after.
Okay, so the duel is after. Sorry.
Well, there's 2 duels that.
Yeah, I know. Does the first one happen before the sleep?
No, they both
Okay,
happen.
I
They
didn't think
both
so.
happen after. One happens
Yeah,
early on after, and then the other one is like
Yeah,
after
okay.
the training montage,
So-
whatever.
Yep. So he finds a sword after they're done pillaging, like the fight has died down, and then he finds Askeladd sleeping. He has a sword, and like he could swing it down, just chop off Askeladd's neck, but he doesn't for some reason. I'm not completely sure why. I think it's something that Thor's tells Thorfinn, like, and it's when he first shows him the dagger, is like, you don't know what it's actually like to kill a man, like, because Thorfinn's just talking about how it's like, I'm gonna go kill people, I'm gonna be great at killing, and Thor's is like, you don't actually know what it means to kill a person. So I'm guessing that's what happened with Thorfinn when like he was about to kill Askeladd and he didn't. But then you see that Askeladd was awake during the whole thing, and he was just going to like accept defeat, I guess, and just take
No,
it.
he just knew that Thorfinn just wasn't going to.
Wasn't going to,
And
yeah.
also the reaction time and stuff, Askeladd wouldn't have
True.
died.
But then next morning is when Thorfinn shows up with this giant sword, and he's like, I challenge you to a duel. I'm gonna kill you. And Askeladd's like, okay. And then Thorfinn just charges at Askeladd with the sword. Askeladd just sidesteps and then just kicks the shit out of Thorfinn. And he's like, yeah, this duel is over. Like, get on my fucking side, basically. So Thorfinn runs off, and then you see him
Epic
in the woods.
training montage.
Exactly. You see him in the woods. Bjorn comes and talks to him because he randomly stumbles upon him in the woods. And Thorfinn's like starving because he can't like find anything to eat because he's trying to catch a rabbit over and over again, but like the rabbit just always runs away from him. So, and then we have this training montage where he's like, he realizes that he's not going to be able to use a sword because it's too big. So he just takes the dagger, or his father's dagger, and like he starts training with that, and he gets better at it. He learns how to throw it with like pinpoint precision. So he's better now. And then he goes back to Askeladd while they're about to leave, and he's like, under the, the power of Almighty Odin, I challenge you to a duel. And then they fight again. He's still like, Askeladd is just sidestepping everything. The one thing that like he comes close to is when Askeladd knocks him down, like he throws it at Askeladd's head, and like Askeladd, it almost hits him, but then he just like backhands it out of the air. And then Askeladd is I can't remember what he says, but oh yeah, he tells Thorfinn that if he like trains to be a warrior, and he gives him a warrior's promise that's like if he trains to be a warrior and actually becomes better, he will give him a second duel. So then it seems like Thorfinn is now going to join Askeladd, and he's probably going to be part of his group, but he's always going to be looking for that moment where he becomes good enough that he thinks he can beat Askeladd.
Yeah, so he basically tells him that he has to become a worthy like opponent. So basically that he has to be friggin' good at killing and just be good on the battlefield before he can challenge him again. So, but yeah, you're right. The rest of it is basically Thorfinn getting to the point to where he can challenge him again and defeat or not defeat Askeladd. But yeah, Aaron, you got any final thoughts on the 5 episodes?
Not really. I guess there's one other thing. It's not really I guess the show doesn't have a lot of comedy, but another thing I thought pretty comical about episode 5 was, for some reason, Askeladd has his crew is pretty assorted in terms of what kind of people they have in there. They have one guy that is very weird looking, that is like their lookout that uses his ears. And I swear to God, the shot they had on that guy where his face was facing forward and he had his hands behind his ears
like
coming in, he looks so weird, dude. I don't know what. I was like, what the hell is this face?
I'm pretty sure he has like a weird name too. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, dude, that man's got some massive ears.
Yeah, man.
It's
huge.
like, I think I even said it verbally when we were watching. It's just like there's a shot that's just his face, and one eye's looking left, the other eye's looking right. He's just cupping his ears, and I just go, "What the hell?"
You guys want to guess what his name is? You guys want to guess what it is?
Yeah, I have no fucking
Big
idea.
Ear Jimbo.
His name is literally Ear. E-A-R. E-A-R.
Jesus.
Ear. His name is Ear. Is what they call him.
He came out of the womb, and his father's like, "Yeah, his name's Ear."
Yeah, Jesus, but yeah, I think the 5 episodes were good. Another big thing that I feel like kind of played a big part in episode 5 that is the first duel. Just because you see that even though Thorfinn is like malnourished, parched, probably dehydrated, all the above, he still brings that sword out to fight Askeladd once. He's like, I don't care. If I'm dying, I have to kill you. He's like, of course he doesn't, because I think Askeladd actually kind of wants Thorfinn to get stronger. Because in that episode, that portion of the fight, of course we talked about how he swung the sword forward and Askeladd sidestepped him, and his sword got stuck in some wood. Askeladd gave him advice you don't let pretty much the gist of it was, don't let your sword control you. Don't. Yeah, he pretty much just let the sword do its thing, and you shouldn't. You got to control yourself. But I think I'm hoping to see. I guess again, like I said, I'm gonna end up finishing this, but I'm hoping to see that. I have a feeling Askeladd is gonna sort of bring Thorfinn under his wing and kind of teach him before fighting him, just based on just giving him some pointers and stuff. But I guess that's the only other thing I think would be playing a big role here. I guess in episode 5, there's a lot of actual things going on that kind of shows and kind of probably ties into the next few episodes, the end of the season and everything. But yeah, I am looking forward to finish the season, and I'm going to definitely watch season 2 when it's out as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, from the sounds of it, it sounds like I did a really good job this week with picking out an anime that you would both really enjoy.
Hey, watch yourself though. That's 30%. We've watched three shows, and you had a 30% win rate right now on picking the right anime. That's still failing.
No, I got.
You're not making the Hall of Fame.
I'm a 66. I'm a 66.6666.
That's debatable because Bunny Girl
was good. Last week was good.
It was good, but it was also a rom-com. So
To be fair, we only have one show so far that's only half thumbs up. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
true.
So I'm a 66.66666%. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's the devil.
Apparently. But with that, guys, I'll remind you again, kind of like we've been doing, the Mal score. But you guys got to give me a thumbs up, and then also we'll do a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, whatever. I already kind of know how it's going to go. But I'll remind you the Mal score, and then you guys can tell me what you guys personally think. But it is currently sitting ranked 44 out of all animes. It has an 8.73 with 1.1 million votes.
Perfect. I agree with that. But yeah, I think in terms if we go with a thumbs up roll, I think again Lane already knows this. Definitely give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I was expecting that. Nathaniel, what about you?
I mean, as much as I hyped it up, obviously it's a thumbs up. I actually think it's a 2 thumbs up.
Oh, a double thumbs up from Nate this week.
If I could grow another thumb on my right hand, I'd do 2 thumbs up.
All right. Well, it sounds like I did really good this week. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll maybe do a revisit episode, or if you guys end up just watching it on your own, you guys will have to let me know what you guys think about the rest of the show. I personally think it gets better going on. You get more action and more stuff about Thorfinn, and all the other supporting characters. But personally, this is very good. It is pretty high up on my list as well, being kind of in the middle area of my A tier. So definitely up there in I probably give it, I guess you guys should, do your scores, I guess. I'll say mine last.
You know what? I think I'm going to give this one a 9.2015.
9.2015. Oh, okay. Okay. What about you, Aaron?
I'd have to give it like a 9.25, to be honest. Like, it was really good.
Okay. Mine, personally, I'm kind of sticking more towards the Mal score, personally. I'm probably about just a little above the Mal score at probably about like an 8.8. But definitely very good. As you guys heard, we definitely would recommend this show to you if you were into Vikings or any amount of action, or just trying to get into anime itself. This is a pretty good anime. I don't know if I necessarily call it a intro anime. You might want to see a couple before, personally, but
I think if your friend is one of those people that just swears that they hate anime, they'll never watch anime, it's cringe, all that kind of stuff, I think this is one of the right ones to show them. Like, I found 2 so far that, like, I would do that with. The first one being Attack on Titan, because I have a friend that he hates anime, never watched it before. I got him to start watching Attack on Titan. He loves the show now. So I think this is another one that I'll probably have him watch, because I do think he'll like this one. I think this is one that he can get into. So if you have a friend like that, I think this is a perfect beginner anime.
Yeah, but definitely a very good show. But with that, guys, would you guys like to go watch some more Vinland Saga?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say, Eric?
I said,
oh yeah.
How about JoJo's?
Oh God, not again.
He's gonna go with it again.
Every week.
I brought up
until we watch it.
I already brought up a proposition to you off the record. We can
you did.
We can talk more about it off the record, and maybe we'll see it coming up. But that's a big maybe again. We'll definitely see. But
I'll get JoJo's eventually. It will be on this podcast.
But with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If wherever you guys are watching this, if you guys could leave us a review via YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you guys are listening to this, we would really appreciate it if you guys left us some feedback or any recommendations of shows you guys would like us to cover. We are definitely looking for recommendations right now. We're kind of just going off of what I would like to force these guys to watch, whether being romance or whatever I feel like doing for the week. But yes, we really do appreciate you guys for listening. Your guys' feedback is very important to us. We want to make sure we're improving and growing our podcast every single week. But yes, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening.